thank you. It is 5:02 p.m., Thursday, April 15th, 2021. This meeting of the GBC Economic Development Corporation Board is called to order. Roll call from my left, please.
Foster here.
Kyle here.
Lawrence here.
Ball here.
Colored here.
Johannes here.
We have a quorum. Mr. Wyrick is expected to be here. He's running a few minutes late, but we do have a quorum. Please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Mr. Kyle, would you lead us in the invocation?
Gracious Lord, as we come together this evening, we ask that you give us guidance as we work on the development of gun barrel cities. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Citizens' comments. Robin, do we have any citizens' comments? No. Okay, no citizens' comments. Item 4, adoption of minutes from March meeting and April 6th, 2021 joint special meeting. Do I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept as presented.
I have a motion. Who made that?
Johannes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
No second.
Second by Foster. Discussion?
I've got a comment for clarification purposes on the March 9th minutes on the second page, the last paragraph of Part 6. That's $109,000, 131.61 cents is in the account, and Ms. Cooper's statement, as she mentioned to me after the meeting, she had misquoted that. This money has already been matched. So this $109,131.61 is ready to loan.
I appreciate your having checked into that, Joe. When we talked about it after the meeting, I thought you were going to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Kyle, once y'all get that resolved, could you send Ms. Cooper an email requesting any modifications you'd like to the minutes, please? Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll assume we're ready to vote. Vote from my left, please.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Ball, yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes. Item 5, adoption of February financials. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept the financials for February. Ball.
Motion by Ball. Do I have a second?
Second by Kyle.
Second by Kyle. Discussion? I have one question. Ms. Cooper, I didn't see a P&L for February. Is my package missing something, or?
Sorry?
I didn't see a P&L in our package for February.
I think you had that before. You just didn't have the full thing. And now we have March's. The reason why we have 2 this time is because I asked her if she could really hustle so that she could get that to me so I could do the amended budget. So we've been able to have 2 this month.
Okay, any further discussion? Vote from my left, please.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Ball, yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes. Item 6, adoption of March financials. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept March's financials as presented.
Is that Ms. Johannes?
Yes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Colored, second.
Ms. Merritt, Ms. Collard, second. Discussion? Sorry, Brandy.
It's all good.
Discussion?
Yes, I would like to get this tabled for this time because I was not able to review the March financials before they were put on the agenda.
Excuse me, what was it?
I was not able to review the March financials before they were put onto the agenda.
Susan, you were asked to review them. You were asked to review the amended budget, and you were asked to review our audit. But you left my office and did not.
I was not able to do that. But I was this today, and this was added to the agenda prior than today.
Sorry?
These financials were added to the agenda prior to today, and I had not had a chance to review them prior to them being added to the agenda.
They do not have to go in, they do not have to be reviewed prior to going into the packet. Remember, we sorted that out before. If you do not agree with anything on them, you're welcome to say so. But it is your responsibility to review them before the meeting, not before the packet goes out.
When were these available? When were these available?
Barely by Friday. We made it.
Okay, I came by to pick up my package Friday afternoon between 3 and 4, and the office was closed. I returned between 4 and 5, and the office was closed. So I did not get my package until Monday. So I'm sorry, that was Monday.
Yes, Monday we were all in here for a comp plan meeting.
Robin included?
We were all over here for a comprehensive plan meeting.
And was Robin part of that meeting?
I'm really having trouble hearing. It must be
She
this.
said she was, Joe. She said she was part of it.
As a spectator or as a part of one of those boards, or? As a spectator? Well, the office not being open until 5 o'clock is a problem when everybody's trying to pick up their package.
The office can't be open all the time, sir, because we only have 2 people in our office. If we are both required to go to a meeting, then we're both gone. And a lot of the time, one of us is alone.
Okay, so that was an EDC meeting?
A comprehensive plan meeting with the city and the EDC component in it, yes.
Okay, any further discussion? There's a motion on the table to table the March financials. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on the motion to table. Vote for my left.
Table,
Do we need a second to table?
Foster, yes.
A motion to what, excuse me?
There's a motion to table on the floor.
Table the financials?
March financials.
The March financials, yes.
If you do that, you will take responsibility at City Council because they are ready, they are prepared, they have been gone through by me. Susan had the opportunity to go through them today, so I will simply let Council know why you tabled them.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Any further discussion?
Do we need a second to table that?
I'm sorry?
Do we need a second to table that?
I second it.
Yeah.
I'm going to butt in. First, we have a motion on the floor to approve them, so we would have to
Thank you.
vote this down first and then have a second motion if we want to table.
You are correct. That's my mistake. We do have a motion to approve and a second. So first, we're voting to approve the March financials. Vote from any discussion on that?
I come in late, I'm going to abstain on that there because I ain't for sure what all y'all talked about on that there, so.
Okay. You abstain, it's counted as a no vote?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? Vote from my left. Mr. Wyrick, would you make that statement?
Okay, I abstain on my,
Okay.
Foster, yes.
I'm going to vote no.
I'm sorry? No? Is that what
I'm
you're saying?
voting no
Okay.
to approve these.
I vote no. Ms. Ball?
Ball votes no.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
That is a tie vote.
No, it's not.
I thought it was
3-3.
no.
This is a no, so it's 4-2.
Mr. Foster, what was your vote?
Would you define what a yes and no vote is again, please?
The motion is to accept the adoption of the March financials. That's the vote.
Voted no?
You voted no?
No.
No, okay,
Now that clarification,
okay.
we've had it.
We will not accept the March
Clear on this,
financials.
okay?
Okay, now do you want to make a motion to table?
Yes, I make a motion that we table the March financials until I have a chance to review them.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made to table by Ms. Ball, seconded by Mr. Kyle. Vote from my left.
Excuse me, Ms. Ball, you have to redo that motion. You have had a chance to, so you have to say until I approve them. You can't say until I have a chance to.
Until I have a chance to review them. I haven't had,
Yes, you did. So
We're not
please
going to argue that.
change your
There's a
motion.
motion on the floor. Is there a motion to table and a second? Is there discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote from my left.
Clark, yes?
Yes. Foster, yes?
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes?
Ball, yes.
Colored, no.
Johannes, no.
Motion to table passes. Item 7, brief update of activities by Executive Director. Ms. Cooper, you have the floor.
Well, as you know, we have a great deal of activity going on. It's very exciting being the executive director of Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation right now. I am really happy to say we have made great progress, which is why we have some big expenses, and a lot of them are reflected, all of them are reflected in the amended budget. When I went through to amend the budget, I took into consideration all the votes that you will be doing tonight. So if you vote no on any of them, then the amended budget will change. But right now, as it sits, as the amended budget is being presented to you, it includes everything that we have to date. Now, I also want to update you. We did have a clean audit. And I also had asked Ms. Ball to go over that with me today, but she did not. But it was a perfectly clean audit, and that's something to be proud of, getting a perfect audit. I've only been here 6 months, so Robin and I had a bit of a tough time going through the previous 6-month stuff because it isn't quite in the organizational order that she and I have things now. But we got it done, and we're very happy to say that it came off well. And then you wanted me to do, okay, go ahead, next item.
Item 8, is there any questions for Ms. Cooper? Okay, item 8, bylaws status. Ms. Cooper, did you like to make a statement?
The bylaws are in transition. If you would like me to take them to the council as they stand, I am perfectly happy to do that. I will take them to the council for a vote.
Explain in transition, please.
Sorry?
Explain in transition, please.
Well, they're not totally back from our attorney, but he could send them back to me as they are. He has already spent a great deal of time on them, so he's happy to just send them back as they are.
Thank you. Mr. Foster, you wanted the floor at this point?
The EDC board approved the 2021 revisions to the bylaws by a 6-to-1 vote. These revisions were sent to the EDC attorney by the ED. I'm requesting that Ms. Cooper formally place on the next City Council agenda April 27th, 2021, the revised bylaws approved by the EDC Board of Directors for discussion / take action on behalf of the board.
As I have just said, I will do so. Thank you. Next.
Ms. Cooper, I'm running this meeting. Thank you. On 3/13, I received a response to my question to you via email about Mr. Moore's review of the bylaws. At that time, in mid-March, you told me, quote, Jeff has edited them down to about 8 pages and is still working on them. On 4/12, a month later, I was notified by Mr. Moore that Mr. Moore had completed his review. Mr. Moore sent me his comments dated 2/22/21 and he said he had returned those comments to Ms. Cooper in February. He considered himself complete in February. I'm not real sure how I got that he's still working on it in March. I want to say that I'm extremely disappointed that his comments were never forwarded to the board as requested, and it has taken this long to get in front of the council for their consideration. I feel that this board has been misled, given incorrect and conflicting information, and stonewalled by a few when all that this board was doing was what they had been requested by council. At the 1/12/21 EDC board meeting, I explained to the board that their package for the meeting did not include the clean set of bylaws that the bylaw review committee was recommending for the board to approve. When I asked Ms. Cooper to print their sets and include it in the package, she told me it was cost prohibitive to print. At that time, I emailed the approved set to each board member, and Mr. Foster printed them for distribution to the board during the meeting. The motion was made, seconded, discussed, and approved to, quote, to approve the 18-page monochrome set of amended bylaws titled 2020 Amended Bylaws that was emailed from me to the board on 1/8/21, and, if approved, forward that set to council for their critique/approval, as well as attorney for final critique. Since this seems insufficient to get the approved bylaws on the council agenda, and because we currently have Mr. Moore's comments in our possession, I will entertain a motion to direct Ms. Cooper to place the approved set of bylaws with the friendly amendments and renamed 2021 bylaws and Mr. Moore's comments on the 4/27/21 council agenda for council approval. May I have a motion to that effect?
I so move.
Motion's moved by Mr. Foster. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wyrick. Discussion?
Okay, now that you have finished with that, I need to say there was not a vote allowed for in the agenda. So you have called an improper vote. This is not the first time this has happened. I told you we would be giving an update. If you wanted them to be voted on, you needed to change that to discuss, take action. It does not read that way. And you've done this in the past. It is not acceptable to hold a vote when it wasn't called for in the agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Let me explain the process here. Items 8 and 9 are listed on the agenda as updates. Item 8 should have read, discuss, take action on bylaw status, and item 9 should have read, discuss, take action on committee status, omitting the word governance before committee and adding discuss, take action on before bylaw and committee. 7 days before this meeting, on 4/8/21, Ms. Cooper, I emailed you, and my email said, quote, please add 2 agenda items for discussion/take action, bylaw status, committee status. On 4/9, you sent me the agenda without my additions and asked if I saw any changes needed. That same day, I replied, quote, please add the 2 items I asked to be added in my email yesterday and send revised agenda. They are below for your reference. Please add 2 agenda items for discuss/take action, bylaw status, committee status. Again, that same day, you replied, that will part of my update, Joe. I believe you meant that will be part of my update, Joe. To which I replied, again the same day, please add them as agenda items as requested. You can give updates as you see fit, but they need to be separate agenda items. Thank you. On 4/12, you replied, okay. That same day, the 72-hour deadline expired. I asked 4 different times through 7 back and forth emails that these items be placed on the agenda as discuss, take action. I can't control what
I do not recall it having said discussion, take action. However, considering you seem to have sent 5 emails regarding the same thing, and I am a very busy person, I am not surprised I got confused that the first one read differently from all the rest.
And it's not
Because I
the first
made it-
time you've been confused. You say that I've
Excuse me,
done this
sir, I'm
before.
talking.
Okay, go for it.
And I said, very clearly said, update on the agenda, which you received along with everybody else. And had you wanted that to be changed after you got the agenda, we could have amended the agenda. There was still time to.
I asked 3 times for that to be changed. 3.
We'll have to go back through all these many emails, sir.
I think you should.
But in any event, it is an illegal vote. If you want to go ahead with it, you're welcome to. I had already told you prior to this discussion that I was taking it to the council. For some reason, you feel you must have this conversation, which is a waste of time. I had already told you that. It looks as though somebody is perhaps grandstanding, and they want to make sure that they get it into the minutes.
I appreciate your opinion. It's a waste of time. My concern is that since this board has already passed the motion that if approved, these bylaws would be sent to council for their critique approval as well as attorney for final critique. And for some reason, Mr. Moore's critique has been missing for almost 2 months. We're doing everything we can do to make sure, I'm talking, please.
I did explain to
I'm
council.
talking, Ms. Cooper.
I'm sorry.
To make sure that these bylaws and Mr. Moore's comments get placed on the city council agenda for the 427 meeting. Would you agree to do that?
Okay, but you misunderstand. They weren't comments. They were red lines. So the bylaws, as he has done them, are red-lined additions. The reason there was a holdup, as I explained to council, is because the bylaws did not reflect anything of our current structure. And Jeff was still trying to deal with that. You had still put things in there, so then council went ahead and did the job descriptions, so it would be very clear to you that you cannot circumvent the way our structure is by trying to change the bylaws.
This is drawn on some 4 months. This board has requested that you put the bylaws that they approved.
And I've already
comments.
said yes.
Are you agreeing to do that?
I said at the beginning of the conversation I was going to, yes,
I
I
just want
agree.
it on the record, you're agreeing to do that? Okay, we're going to go ahead and take this vote. If there's further discussion, Ms. Cooper's
Well-
right. Technically, it is not a legal vote, but we're going to take it anyway.
Before we do that, I have a comment.
Okay?
I printed off a clean copy from the attorney. Just in case you don't have it, I'll be glad to provide. This is the document that would be presented to go on the agenda, to take action and review.
Actually, I don't have a clean copy. I have the red-lined copy, but he will be happy to send me one, so that's fine.
Came from him, so I'll ask Joe to forward it. He's got a copy also.
Yes, I understand you contacted the attorney.
Tomorrow, I will email Mr. Moore's comments along with a set of the board-approved bylaws to the entire council, to the mayor, to the city manager, the city secretary, to the EDC board, and to Ms. Cooper. And I will reiterate the 112-21 vote as well as the results of this meeting. One of the reasons for my concern, Ms. Cooper, is that the last city council meeting that I missed, quite a few incorrect statements were made, and we had council people that said they had never seen a copy of the bylaws that this board approved, et cetera, et cetera. So
That is not correct. Maybe one council person said that to you? That is not
I
correct.
watched the recording. A council person stated, and so I went back and reviewed my notes and my emails. I have forwarded those all to everyone involved, and so I will send them again tomorrow with the statement that you've agreed to submit them and put them on the agenda for the 427 meeting. Any further discussion?
We still have the update on the governance committee.
I'm sorry?
We still have the update on the governance
Ms.
committee.
Cooper, we're
which I
still on
believe is
item 8.
Part of that.
No further discussion on bylaws?
My question is, what am I supposed to be voting on, and why are we voting again? I need to hear that, because if it's an illegal vote, I'm not going to vote
Okay.
on something that's illegal. I mean, and to be asked to do that is unacceptable. Puts me in a very terrible position, as well as everybody else on the board. So I strongly will not participate in that vote.
Okay. The vote was the motion was to respectfully request Ms. Cooper to present them on the next city council agenda, since it's taken this long. If this board feels strongly about it, I'd be happy to, well, Mr. Foster, you made the motion. You would have to withdraw the motion.
I'm going to intervene also at this time. Under the circumstances, I believe it would be best to withdraw the motion. I believe I've heard from Ms. Cooper. She is willing to take the latest version that came from the attorney and requested it go on the next city council agenda to discuss/take action.
Thank you.
Does anyone disagree or misunderstand what I'm saying?
No, thank you, Mr. Kyle, because that's what I understood, and she's saying that in a public meeting with minutes that will reflect that, so I think that should be significant for everyone
So
here.
I think I would also request at this time that you withdraw your motion.
Chairman, I withdraw.
Thank you. I have no problem with that. Motion's withdrawn. Item 9, committee status. I'm removing the word governance. I don't know where governance ever came from, but committee status. At this time, since there continues to be some complaints and misunderstandings about standing committees, I want to go on record that all committees that were formed in the past are hereby dissolved except the Bylaw Review Committee. According to the approved 2019 bylaws, the Vice President is the head of that committee. As a result, Mr. Foster is still head of that committee, and the members of that committee are still Ms. Ball and Mr. Kyle. It is within the power and authority of Mr. Foster or the current VP to add members or remove members of this committee as the VP sees fit. This committee will remain in force until council has completed their work on the proposed 2021 bylaws that this board has previously approved. Once council relieves this committee from duty, it will be dissolved as well. Any discussion on that? I'm going to remove the request to discuss, take action on that as well. Item 10, discuss and/or take action on moving $500,000 from Techstar to Southside Bank in order to earn more interest. Ms. Cooper, would you like the floor on that?
Yes, I have discussed it with both Susan and Joe. When we went into Techstar several years ago, apparently the rate was good, but we're getting a very low rate now. We're getting 0.033, which is negligible, and we're getting 0.12 from Southside, which isn't a whole lot better, but it's better when you consider it's $500,000, $600,000. So I do think we should move it out of Techstar and put it into Southside Bank, and it also will bolster our local funds here. There's no reason to have it with Techstar and not a local bank when we're getting a lower rate of interest.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept as presented.
I'm sorry?
Motion to accept as presented to move the $500,000 from Techstar to Southside Bank in order to earn more interest. Johannes.
Motion by Johannes. Do I have a second?
Collard, second.
Collard, second. Discussion?
I want to make a discussion over all of these. Item 11 through item 17.
Wait, we're on
I know we're
10
on
right
item
now.
10,
Let's stay on 10.
and I got in here late, and
What item is he talking?
I don't know how to put this straight. I'm just going to lay it straight on the board. I think we need to have a workshop on item 11 all the way through 17, where everybody's on the same page of understanding everything that's going on these here, to a point instead of sitting out here on camera in the public and beating some of this stuff to death and not really understanding it 100%, because there's a lot of stuff I still haven't, I'm still trying to figure out on it. And I think some of the other members too have some questions, and I think we could really, as a workshop, discuss some of this stuff and get it more laid out and everybody understanding 100% instead of half and half. We run in this same situation where we're at right now on some of this stuff during council, and we figured out if we had a workshop going over each items, we could work them all out by the time we got up here as a group to vote on them in a regular meeting. Everybody was 100% understand everything about every item we're voting on, all this sales tax money that we're spending, exactly how much we're spending, where it's coming out of, exactly are we going over budget, or we, every means and manners there is to cover before coming and just rubber stamping this stuff. And
Ron,
Thank you,
may I
Ms.
answer,
Warren.
Joe?
but I want to do it where everybody's involved, not just one person on one person, because as a group, we can only do it in threes, and we don't need to do it in threes. We need to do it as a group and discuss this, each item, and make sure everybody understands it fully before we turn around and give 25, 10, 15, whatever it is, to businesses out here, that everybody's on the same page whenever we give them this money.
Thank you, Mr. Warwick. There's a motion on the floor. Let's continue discussion on that motion. Motion is to move $500,000 from Techstar to Southside Bank. Do I have further discussion on that motion?
I have a question. Let me make sure I'm making my notes correct. Southside Bank currently is offering 0.025% in their savings?
I thought it was .011 we were getting, but it may be higher. I just know it's a lot more than what we were getting at the other one. It changes sometimes, I'm sure, but what I saw was
Well,
one something.
.025 is not greater than .033.
Sorry?
If we're currently making .033, .025 is less than that. It's a smaller percentage.
Yeah, 035 is what we're getting at Techstar.
035?
033.
033.
Yeah,
And if-
that's what we're getting at Techstar.
If you're proposing that we move to Southside at .025, that would be less interest.
It's not .025, it's .125.
so it's 1.25%.
Approximately. I'm sorry, I haven't got it in front of me.
Because I checked at their website, and that's not what I got.
Well, we do get a different rate, you know, we're a treasury account. We're not available to the public.
Do you know how much we averaged from Hilltop Securities for 2020 for the calendar year?
Actually, Robin could get that for you. We just figured that out, how much interest we had got. I wish these questions had come to me prior to the meeting.
Well, you were not available yesterday, and I didn't get information until today.
Who wasn't available yesterday?
You?
No, not yesterday, only Tuesday. I was available yesterday and today.
Well,
And I welcome
I
questions.
got the information today from Hilltop Securities on what they have and what they're currently paying and how it's set up. And I hate to tell you this, I'm still the primary, so I'm going to make a motion that we will have to change this account before we do anything with it, because I haven't been the treasurer since last October, and I am in charge of this account, as they told me today.
I did send in the information to change it. It came back because we didn't have our seal on it. I had not noticed that it required our
You
seal.
had signatures from each of our officers that you sent to them?
Susan? Yeah, only the ones that mattered, yeah, when we did all our forms.
I never signed for Techstar. The only two banks I've ever signed for, Prosperity and
Maybe
Southside.
it could be that you did not have to sign, that it was a form that was just filled out because I had to email it into them. But what it was missing was the seal.
Well, they informed me today that they don't know what you're talking about. So as of today, she has been emailed, our treasurer has been emailed the proper forms to fill out from Hilltop Securities, following SEC guidelines. And
I can't answer that, Joe.
I
If you
or
do
Joe
not want to change from one to the other, which is what the motion is right now, you're entitled to vote no.
We will have to vote, but no.
Okay,
I can't sign.
Joe, Law President, what we got right now, from what I understand, we got on the table, we got a motion made on the table. The only way we could change to another motion, that has to be took off the table. We're in discussions. One of the discussions I'm wondering right now, we want to move $500,000 out of this tech stock over into South Side. We're looking at the papers. I'm sitting here looking at $614,972 or something. Why ain't we moving it all?
I did think about that, but I thought maybe it would be a good idea to keep some there in case their rates go up again, and we decide that we want to move some money back into it.
I mean, this is one of the reasons I brought up tonight, right now, about having a workshop to go over all this stuff. But right now, I'm on camera and I'm looking like a fool because we're not getting our paperwork all done and everything answered before we step up here to take action to do stuff. This is taxpayers' money we're spending.
Excuse me.
It's taxpayers' money. It comes from sales tax, and we're responsible for it. To me, being responsible for it, that's 100% responsible, not 88%, not 90%. And how we're doing this here right now, we got the motion on the board on the table here to do it, move to 500. Unless that motion changes, and the ones that made the motion take it back and we redo the motion, President, then that's where I'm at under discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Ron, there are two things I would like to clarify for you. We have absolute transparency in this organization, and we just got a clean audit saying that everything is being handled very well. We also have had the governor's report the controller's report go in. Everything in this organization is right. Now, you get a packet. If you do not understand, and it's all in black and white right there, a workshop is not going to change because the figures will not be different. You just need to study that, and if you have questions, call me. It's very simple.
You said Robin went to get the average rate over the calendar year for 2020. Did you find that information, Robin?
Actually, it's the total. It's okay, it's the total. Could you please bring me the bank statements and I'll be able to do it? They are on my, they're on my desk.
Probably be December's report.
Sorry?
December's report should give you the annual.
What about December's report? Sure, I have March's.
December would tell you what this is an investment account set up by the Texas Comptroller for public
I realize that,
municipalities.
sir.
It's a floating rate. It changes daily.
Okay.
You have
As
to
of
understand
April.
what you're investing.
Now, we go on a fiscal year, okay? But let me tell you what we have had to date. Robin, I don't see Techstar in here.
While she's looking this up, I think the problem is we don't have someone that can actually make this move until I'm made the signatory, or Joe, or...
Yeah, and you have been made the signatory, but we haven't.
I beg your pardon, she has not. I will clarify that one more time. I've spoken to the head of the department at Hilltop Securities and at Techstar. I will give you the information I'm asking for. For the calendar year, which is a January through December, and that's how the security reports. That's what you would pay. They reported they averaged 0.4779.
In the calendar year.
Calendar
Sir,
year.
what they were doing from January to August does not matter.
And
What
today they
matters
are
is what we
paying-
are getting
And
now.
it changes daily. So
You are
have
welcome
look
to
at it
vote no on the
as-
motion, but we have a lot to cover tonight. Please direct
this down
questions to me
and then we
before the
table it.
meeting, please.
Ms. Cooper, where are you getting your information from Hilltop?
Okay,
How are you
Hilltop
obtaining?
sends all of their information to me. Hilltop is the securities division that backs Techstar.
They send this
Here is what
information
we
to
have-
you?
Here is what we have earned
Yeah, they mail it to her once a month.
in this. Yeah, it's pitiful. The project fund with Techstar has earned $30.42 on $614,000.
Again, I understand what you're saying.
It's
Under
today
the
that matters, Joe.
circumstances, I think we should vote this down and then table it until we have the proper people who can move the money, as well as a better understanding of the account. And I believe that you and Susan should meet with Hilltop Securities and understand what it is they do, what other accounts are available, and do they have a better solution. Historically, they pay twice what the interest rates are at the bank.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Who made that motion? Mr. Honest?
I did.
Do you want to amend that to table, or do you want to vote on your
No,
motion?
I'd like to vote.
Okay. Any further discussion? We're voting to approve moving $500,000 from Techstar to Southside.
I still don't see how we can.
Even though it's physically not possible.
We can't do it until all the paperwork is taken care of. So if it passes, we'll still have to go through and name the treasurer as a signatory. Who's signatories now?
When you are made signatories, you are made signatories of all the accounts. We have 4 signatories. We have 7 accounts. The 4 signatories are Joe Lawrence, Ken Foster, Brandy Collard, and our treasurer, Susan. Those are the 4 signatories. That has been established since, well, we finally got it done in whatever month. And so you are the signatories. Whether or not we have been able to get, I also am supposed to have access to the accounts online. That we haven't been able to get worked out. No fault of anybody's here, no fault of mine. It's just banking is difficult.
Ms. Cooper, you're saying that the 4 of us that are signatories at Prosperity and Southside are also signatories of Hilltop?
I think I left one off. I forget who it was.
Well, let's concern ourselves with Hilltop. We're already signatories of,
It's not Hilltop, it's Techstar. Hilltop is just the securities firm that underwrites
so
Techstar.
we are currently signatories of Techstar?
Yes, you could be if I
I
had
beg
done
your
the form
pardon.
correct.
I will state this one more time. There is one signatory set up with Techstar, which is handled by Hilltop Securities. That is myself. With
And
my
that's what needs to
demise-
change.
With my demise, Joe Lawrence steps in, and with his demise, Gary Damiano steps in, and that was confirmed by their top people today.
Susan is named the primary on the Techstar account. She is the primary person.
Okay, we're having an argument, so I
We're,
will tell you, she has paperwork that was emailed to her today from them on how to set this up. They did not recognize anything up to that point, and it's not in their records. And their supervisors pulled this to verify.
Well, I can pull out the forms that I sent and that I
They
got
don't
back.
recognize what you sent them.
okay, we'll get this straight. The motion is to move $500,000 from Techstar to Southside Bank. That is the motion. Any further discussion before we vote? Vote from my left, please.
No.
Foster, no.
Kyle, no.
Lawrence, no.
Ball, no, not this time.
Collard, no.
Johannes, yes.
Motion fails. Item 11, discuss and/or take action.
Before you do that, I'd like to go back to 10, and I'd like to actually make a motion that we table this item until further research and updated signatories, including having Susan Ball, our treasurer, become the primary signatory, along with the current board officers after the city council election, as our board officers will change.
Okay. Do I have a second to that motion?
Yes, that is the better idea, to amend
Ms.
the
Cooper,
motion,
there's
to
a motion
delay
on the
the
floor,
motion.
if you would, excuse me. Do I have a second to that motion?
Ball, second.
Have a motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, I'll vote from my left.
Wire, yes.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
Ball, yes.
Collard, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion is, action is tabled. Okay. Item 11, discuss and/or take action to adopt budget amendments per attached.
Okay.
I have a motion.
We got it under discussion right first.
Well, we'll have discussion. Do I have a motion to either adopt or either to discuss or take action? Do I have a motion to discuss?
I'll make a motion to discuss.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wyrick. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Ms. Cooper, would you like the floor?
First of all, I want to remind you that when I did our first budget, I had been here for 3 months. I had to prepare a budget from an atrocious prior year's budget, and I did my very best to take everything into consideration. I looked at past, I looked at potential forward, I looked at everything I could to make the best budget possible. Mr. Kyle agreed that it was a good budget. Then we had a lot going on. As a result, first of all, it was COVID. So that was not the easiest time to deal with anything. However, I think I made a pretty good attempt for a first try in an organization that I took over from people who weren't very organized. And this time, the reason I wanted you to wait until we had a full 6 months before we made any amendments was so that I could get a better picture of what really is going on in this community and formulate a better budget. So you will find there are highlighted items, and those are the things that have been changed. Now, one thing also, I made a mistake in the interest on accounts. I looked at it, I thought, okay, we've got $1,300,000, 20,000 interest. I was way off. We got about 200 interest. So I had to amend that. And the sales tax revenue is way up at half point. We are at whatever half of 588.8 is. So I amended the sales tax revenue to reflect what will really happen over the next 6 months. And we are going into a better 6 months than our past 6. It was winter. Now we're coming into summer.
Excuse me, can I ask a question there? You said the sales tax is up to a half a point? I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood that.
Our sales taxes, if you look at the total sales taxes that we have collected this year in your March to date statement, you'll see that we have collected half of what I have now inputted for our year's revenue.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Let me clarify now. So on the new budget proposal, you're saying it'll be $588,800, and we've already collected half of that?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. Then also the loan payments, because we now are collecting from 2 more loans at $1,000 apiece a month. I put in 72,000, but it actually is higher because we're now at 7,000 a month, so it really could be 84, but I'm being conservative. Okay, then over on the expenses. Telephone, internet. I had no idea that we had a $300 contract for internet services, $300 a month. That escaped me. So I had to add in this time $3,600 more into telephone and internet because it includes the IT contract. So that went up. Nothing else changed in the personnel, variable expenses.
Okay, now, I'm going to interrupt you here. We had a long discussion about increasing Robin to possibly full-time.
And we've still calculated at 18,000 because Robin and I sat down, and that's basically what she will be earning this year.
Well, will she be classified as full-time? And if that is true, TRMS
No.
is mandatory. Could that
No, she has declined benefits, and that's fine. She can decline
So
benefits.
she declined any retirement benefits.
She declined benefits,
TRMS.
and she is not a salaried full-time employee.
I'm just checking.
I know.
I don't
fine.
want to cut
It's
her
good
out
to
of
get
this. She's
clarification.
an integral part of what happens.
Thank you, Mr. Kyle. Let's let Ms. Cooper finish her summary.
Office supplies, I was way under on. One of them is the enormous amount of paper we go through. We go through over a ream of paper every meeting, and we are going through tons of paper. So I had to put that up. That's why office supplies are higher. I may have overestimated now. I just didn't want to be under again like I was before.
Hey, Gail, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you here, but you're going in and out on the mic. Whenever you look down and talk, you can't.
Sorry? Oh, you can't hear me when I look down
Yeah,
at the
you're going
paper?
in and out. There you
Okay,
go.
I'll put it here then. Is
Thank you,
that
ma'am.
better, Ron?
Yeah, I
Okay.
hate to interrupt
I
you. but-
apologize. Okay. Now, the only thing I was out on in professional services, and it was way out, was legal fees. I thought, okay, this small organization, we aren't probably going to have a lot of performance agreements in the next year. I don't think there'll be a lot of call for legal services, so I put it in at 10,000. It turned out we had a performance agreement, we had a loan that we had to collect on, we have had all kinds of issues, and that the attorney has had to get involved in between council and the board and so on. So I have now taken it from 10,000 to 25,000. We are currently at 15,000. I am not at all sure with all we are going to be doing with our next project, whether the other 10 is going to be enough. I have no way of finding that out because we have not done this type of project before. I know that the legal fees really pile up with a project of this nature. Okay, nothing else changed in the dues and subscriptions. Conferences did not change for me. However, we couldn't do the board training. We couldn't do the executive assistant training. So the training ended up only being $8,000 for me. And that is for the full year, which is extremely low. Next year, the budget will be higher. But when I did this, we were in COVID, and I thought, okay, there'll probably only be a couple conferences that I need to go to. Because of COVID, we didn't know at the beginning of it how it would go. But it turns out I only have actually 2, like I thought. Now, advertising, I had not put any money in the budget for advertising. However, we did have one opportunity for $400, so I thought, okay, I'll just take it out of the marketing budget because that wasn't a big deal. But then we had 2 things that came up to the board that are both advertising because they're sponsorships. $1,000 for the disc golf and $1,500 for the quilting thing. So I decided I better put that at $3,500 because, as I said, I am taking into account everything you're going to vote on tonight. And I do believe that you will want to support that one
Library?
library, thank you. I was going to say the piano man, but yes, the library. So I hope I have covered everything there. New business incentives I have put at 0. And that's because I don't think I'm going to be able to push to get any new businesses for the next while. We have one big thing that is going to consume all my time. So I won't be contacting people and hustling people to try to get them here. We did get Burke's, and that was a big deal. That's why we had a $50,000 hit there. And
You skipped over, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm trying to go down the page and follow. We skipped website, and that's, we have not heard of it.
no, that's what I'm going to go to next.
Okay.
I didn't do a
Now, the
traffic
new
stats
business
update.
incentives was $100,000, and according to what the attorney sent us with his notes, our primary reason to exist is to promote new jobs and new sales tax.
That's right.
And taking that to 0 doesn't look right.
Sir, I hope you appreciate that I do have my hands full with our next big project. Now, we may incur some kind of deals when I'm doing the marketing on one aspect of that, but we can't talk about it in our public meeting. If we do, then we will tell council that we need to have new business incentives put back into the budget. But right now, our new business incentives are kind of all tied up in one deal, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. The grant commitments.
You want to back up to website, or you want to just skip that?
Oh, the website, yes. I have put that in because, as I said, I am putting in everything that you're being asked to vote on tonight, and that will be coming up. Grant commitments. I had put in $90,000, and there was $40,000 previously allocated. And I kind of thought, well, you know, if I can sell this program really well, we might get, 3 businesses doing the 25 and 3 businesses doing the facade grants. It turned out, as you know, that we had an astronomical response to this program. And we should all be very proud of that, because people are telling me all the time they love the way Main Street looks now. And that's thanks to the EDC. That's thanks to this board. That's what we're supposed to do. Then previously allocated as obvious, that's from last year. So I had to change the development and facade grants on the next page to what it will be if you approve the 3 tonight.
Now, I'm lost in the math. We initially had $90,000 there. We are $10,000 overspent. So that's $100,000.
No, excuse me, we're way overspent. We are not just $10,000 overspent. We're way overspent. I had allocated $100,000, I thought it was 90, into that. And in the end, we ended up using a lot more. We were, I believe that note I sent you last, we were at 140 that we had put out, and we had only allocated 100. So, you know, we were already over budget, but we knew that. And you were made aware of that. So now we're going to be realistic and put $225,000 there instead. This is what we are about. Yes, we are to get jobs and sales tax, but there's a whole lot more to getting jobs and sales tax than just pulling in businesses. You need to, when you're marketing your community, You need to have a good-looking community. You need to have a community that people are proud of. And that's part of what we're doing with those businesses. Then I have a $200,000 loan in here that again will be something I hope you will approve tonight. If you don't, that will come out. And then Big Chief Landing, as you know from the, you may not remember, but in the previous budget, I had just said I am not putting anything with relationship to Big Chief Landing because I have not had time to learn anything about it. In the meantime, I have learned that there is a $60,100 loan payment that comes out every year. And so I had to add that into the budget. We did pay it, of course. And then we also have $10,000 that we have to pay to the city for our maintenance contract. We have not paid that yet. They have started doing it, but they know we will pay them. So that brings us all in all to $733,700. Now, remember, we were already at about 500 and something when we were coming in under our budgeted year. Now, we were at 119.9 over. But that is wonderful because that's what we're supposed to do. Our responsibility is not to put money in the bank. Our responsibility is to put it out into the community, write those grants, bring in those businesses, work deals with developers. That's how we generate income, generate sales tax, and if we had it, would generate property tax. And jobs come along with that. I'll be talking more with you in executive session about that. So, I've been very honest and forthright, and that's where we are if you approve everything. We're at 119.9. That means our fund balance will come down by 119. That's all it means, that our fund balance will change. I actually had a CPA one time when he was putting up numbers in front of the board. He said, now you realize if we do this and this and this and this and this, we're in debt. No, we're not in debt. When you're running a negative a deficit budget and you have $3.5 million in assets and 1.5 in cash, you are not in debt, not at all. You are simply using some of your reserves, and we need to use more of those reserves as time goes on because that's our responsibility to the people who come here and pay us sales tax.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. There is no motion on the floor except to discuss. If the board chooses, we can allow further discussion/questions at this point, or I will entertain a motion.
They're still under discussion. We're just talking about under discussion, just like I said just a few minutes ago. We're looking at budget numbers here that half of us don't even understand yet. On all the money that's been spent, we're understanding from Gail, we're $140,000 over budget right now, which we shouldn't be. And to me, all these items from item 10 now, or item 11, all the way down to item 17, to me needs to be tabled until we have a workshop and go through all these businesses out here wanting us to.
Excuse me, Ron, we are not over budget at all.
We're discussing, okay? I'm talking to the board, and to put all this stuff until we have a workshop and go through this stuff and everybody understands it. I do not see spending more money than we allocated to spend to start with. If we do, we're going to spend ourselves right out. I know we got over $1 million something worth of property out here. I'm understanding most of it little by little, and I haven't got a total grasp on 100% of it right now. But we cannot keep spending money like we're spending and expect to have money to keep going. If we have somebody who wants to come in here and put in a business and come in and wants $100,000 right now or $200,000, if we spend it all on $25,000 grants, We ain't gonna have the money here for them to do it with. We need, as a group, need to sit down and understand exactly what our financials are and what we have, we can spend and where not.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
that's
White.
under discussion. From that, I'm through with it.
Sir, we are not spending money, we're investing money. That's what economic development is all about. You invest money in your community, you invest money in your marketing, and I think actually Diane had a pretty good explanation of this. Do you want to say something?
Well, I mean, what we're looking at, and I understand, I can appreciate your thoughts there, Mr. Wyrick. First, you said we're 140,000 over, and I think the bottom line on what she just gave us was 119.9.
Well, I just, yeah.
Okay, well, I
Well, I said 140, it was
Her
brought up
adjusted budget.
140. The book shows 119 right here.
Okay, it's
You know,
as
on the new
corrected,
budget, or
120. Let's let Ms. Jonas continue.
Okay, so, I mean, I understand, but I think that as our, part of our focus is to improve our community, and by improving those businesses, the way they look and how they appeal to people, and we get them in a better light, then they are bringing more income, more sales tax to the community. So I don't see how that we can think so, you know, in such a small box. And you're right, we could have a big project that comes in. We sure could. But at the same time, we have businesses here that we need to take care of as well that have already been helping us with sales tax. So these are businesses that are here right now, not somebody that's going to come tomorrow. So I think it's only fair that those businesses that have generated sales tax and that have been good partners to our city, that we also take that into consideration. And I mean, during COVID, it was impossible for anybody to develop a budget that they could stand on. I don't care what level of government you're at, and I work with cities and counties and states, school districts all over Texas. I have sat in on more amended budget meetings, and it's not because they weren't good at it. They had trends in the past, but they never had a trend that showed a pandemic. So during this time, she was new and whatever, so she made her best shot during COVID. And thankfully, we did grow in this city. We grew with sales tax. We have a new business that came in that's a brick and mortar retail store. If you look at that trend, that's not happening hardly anywhere in the country. Most brick and mortars were afraid they did shut down and they were not expanding. So we were able to do that. So that's a great step in the right direction. So then she said, okay, 3 businesses are going to get a grant or 3, you know, whatever. Those were, she didn't know because she was looking at a crystal ball. I understand that because I sit down with people every day and that was their job. Look at a crystal ball and tell us, what do we need to spend this coming year? So then, hey, guess what? We had more businesses during that time, even though they should have been carefully guarding their pocketbook, saying, you know what, maybe, just maybe, if we invest in this, and remember, we don't give them the money until they do it, so they had to put their good faith first, improve the front of their buildings or whatever their business needed, so they were willing to take a chance during a time when most businesses were holding on to their pocketbook. And I'm real conservative about money, always. But I understand that if I don't invest sometimes, I'm going to have what I have, right? So those businesses took that step and they did it. And then guess what? Their neighbors down the street said, hey, wait a minute, I see more cars down there, or maybe that helped their business. Maybe they talked to each other. They saw it in the newspaper, I don't know. So then they said, hey, why don't we do that? This is a time, because also most people had to stay home, right? A lot of people improved their houses and did things because couldn't go anywhere. So it was a great opportunity that Gail or you or I could not predict that businesses would think, hey, let's make improvements, right? So I think it's exciting for our community that we have that step in the right direction. I think some of the other things that we might have on the table, part of that is because they saw that. Hey, this city, even though in COVID, they're willing to, you know, businesses are trying to step up. So my thought is, I understand what you're saying, and I definitely want to be mindful of a budget. I'm never going to be, it is the taxpayers' money, you're right. The sales tax is generated by people that paid sales tax. So I just would like to challenge the thought that we should be considering this was almost an impossible year to budget by the most experienced experts that have been in their positions in a community or a company for a long time. So I think that Ms. Cooper put forth a good effort, and she's not, well, I don't believe that her intention is to bankrupt the EDC at all, but I think that it is to take, when we have a good opportunity, bring it to the board. We all have the opportunity to read our packets, to ask questions, to make a phone call, send an email. You know, we have to make time for that. We're all busy. I'm sure you're busy. I'm busy. So, you know, if we don't understand it, sure, a workshop's a great idea. I mean, I've sat on councils that I had workshops. But I think that we can't just go every time there's a meeting, we're going to table everything based on the fact that I didn't understand or you didn't understand. It's my responsibility for me to understand it. If I don't, then I need to call her. And if I can't get her, I'm going to call her 100 times and we'll sit in the parking lot till she shows up. Whatever happens, because I understand her, you know, she's not always here. So, but I mean, I think there's some responsibility that lies with the board as well. It's easy for me to say what somebody else should do, but for me personally, I need to read it because she let us know when it was going to be available and, you know, when the meeting was. So, I respect your thoughts, but I do think that I don't see this as haphazard spending. And we do have reserves for the reason that when things are going well in our community, that's why that was saved for a good day to invest it in. And so far, I think that what we see downtown on the city streets, it is looking a lot better. And so it's not a waste of money. And I think it has encouraged other businesses. You know, if I paint my house, you might want to paint yours. I clean up my yard, and then my neighbor goes, hey, I need to mow. So I think it goes downstream from there. So that would be my thoughts. And Ms. Cooper, that's all I had.
Thank you, Ms. Honest. Any other discussion?
I still have I'm still, on the $60,100, that's an annual lump sum payment for,
Big Chief, for the loan, yes. And I noticed it was incorrectly reported last year, but it is to the controller, but it is $60,100.
okay, so we're doing lump sum payments, interesting. And the 10,000's for what?
It's for city maintenance.
The maintenance that we were having done privately, and we
Lawn
voted for a
Lawn mowing.
contract with the city.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
it's
Maintenance.
actually just been moved, though. Did we pay that much more when we agreed to?
Sorry?
We're paying that much more than what we had already budgeted for the mowing?
We hadn't budgeted anything. That's what I was saying. I did not put anything in for Big Chief because I didn't have a clue. I wasn't gonna
This
take
board
a
passed
guess.
$10,000 for mowing with the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Under income, since we already have it, we are missing the $109,131.61.
That isn't income, sir. That's on our balance sheet.
That it is held, and it needs to be in the budget as an expense. So if I'm going to have an expense to spend for a loan, I have to show it.
It would be on both sides.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
It's not
So that's
here.
on the balance sheet, not an income and expense statement.
So I'm looking at the P&L statement. And this is the one I'm kind of struggling
This
with
month?
the most.
This month's,
The P&L, the profit and loss.
this month's
Budget
March.
versus actual.
Are you looking at March's?
For March?
For
Mr.
March.
Thank you.
So the first half of our year.
Yes. And there you will see that our sales tax is right on target with what I have said, and that we are at the midpoint of the year, and we are exactly halfway through our budget. We did not go over budget. We may have in a couple of items, but we are right on target with our budget. Now, we need to amend it.
Okay. Right now, there's 10 items we're out a line item budget on. And you've explained the telephone.
That's what we're fixing. That's why we're doing an amended budget.
Big Chief Landing, you've explained, so we're fixing that. I do not see a facade grant listed with any monies to it. It's all a lump sum.
It's put into the beautification grants.
There is no beautification grant.
Yes, there is. But you can see that they have all in your.
Ms.
amended
Cooper,
budget.
if you want a beautification grant, please put it in writing, bring it to this board, and we will pass, or not pass, a grant that talks about beautification. A
Okay, we'll call them
facade grant is
redevelopment
limited
grants.
to
All right. But
$5,000.
if you look on your last,
No, you're talking over me while I'm speaking. We have a Boots to Business program for our veterans. It is missing. And that's what you told me when we did the budget originally. Joe, I'm going to dump it all together, and it's there. Well, you've already spent every penny, and you're over by $10,000. No boots to business. So
That's right.
there's not even a brochure left. You don't support it.
This is a talk about our budget, Joe.
This is
We
a
can have
budget.
another
It's
conversation
a
about
line
that.
item in the budget. I want to see boots to business. I want to see a separate facade grant. Redevelopment is really down on the bottom of the list, according to the EDC, on what's important. We're supposed to be increasing sales tax money coming into the city and
Right.
increasing jobs.
And the
I
boots
think
to business did
Beautiful Front
not.
Street is wonderful, but that was historically described as a $5,000 match to a facade grant where you could drive down Main Street and see a noticeable improvement, and we've done it at $25,000 apiece by recalling it something else.
May I speak now, please? If
Yes,
you
ma'am.
look on your last page, it says redevelopment/facade grants, right there. And it names all the ones that we have done. It is both put together.
We do not, you may correct me, we have not given out a $5,000 facade grant.
Yes, we have. Ann's Pharmacy is one of them, Parks Construction is another one, and that might be it.
That's correct.
Okay, then I stand corrected. But I think it needs to be a line item with a dollar amount. We need to talk about each of our programs.
I'll be happy to do that. This was just a budget, sir. In our overall thinking, what we need to figure out is what we are putting out into the community. And I would say that $225,000 is where we are going to be. That's all I can say. That's with the ones tonight, if you do them. Now, I do have other people who are wanting to do more, but I am a little nervous because I happen to be a very conservative budgeter. I am a little nervous about leaving it open-ended. So I have actually thought perhaps we may want to put a moratorium on these grants for the remainder of the year.
Well, now
Just
technically,
for the remainder of the year.
looking at March of 2021, we may not pass any of these tonight. We are already $10,000 over what the city council gave us to spend in this category.
Sir, we are not over in our budget at all. We are over in certain categories, and I can promise you that the city council supports our efforts for the community.
Well, then I'm going to ask that they give us written instructions to take and move monies.
We don't move monies, sir. We amend the budget. We do not move monies around. That is inappropriate.
To pay these expenses, that's what you're doing now. We have paid in 10 categories more than was budgeted.
Sir, we are amending the budget. Are you okay with amending the budget?
You're reallocating monies.
Sorry?
Clarification on the facades, they do cap at 5,000. The redevelopments cap at 50,000 spent, 25,000 EDC involvement. Two of the forms that you have given us tonight for 2 out of the 3 grants are incorrect forms. They're the old form. But redevelopment can either add sales tax and jobs, or it can be a true physical redevelopment, new use of a space or expansion of a space that's
Right.
not formerly used. So,
And we do have 2 this year that we have done that are new businesses.
and I see these meeting that.
Yes.
So let's continue if there's no further discussion, we need a motion on the floor about this budget, these budget amendments. Is there other discussion, or are we ready for a motion? Hearing no further discussion on the discussion part, do I have a motion on the budget amendments that we've received?
I'm not hearing a motion, so I'd like to make one that we table this budget amendment to rework it with our treasurer, who was not involved in this creation. We address the 10 line items that are overspent on the March P&L statement, and we put a moratorium on any additional expenses in those 10 areas until the city council approves an updated budget.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to table.
Sir, why do you want to table it?
Can we finish the motion, please, Ms. Cooper? There was no other motion. The motion on the floor is to table. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'd second it.
I have a motion by Mr. Kyle and a second by Mr. Foster to table. Discussion, Ms. Cooper?
I don't see any value in not amending the budget now. If I were you, I would be very glad that I was able to put it together so quickly to bring it to you tonight. That's thanks to Angela, that's thanks to Robin, and that's thanks to me. It was not easy.
If our treasurer has not seen it,
The treasurer had the opportunity. She left the office. That is not on me, sir.
The treasurer had the opportunity to what, I'm sorry?
She was in my office. I had asked her to come in to pay the checks, go over the financials, go over the amended budget, and look at our audit with me.
And when was that?
This morning, right after our meeting. She came in with Ken. Ken Foster was there as well, but they got annoyed about something that they were paying a check on, which Ken finally refused to sign, and the whole conversation was about the check signing. At the point that she said she was leaving and not doing it, I said, "You are out of compliance with your position, Susan." And she is. She was asked to do this, and she didn't.
well, I'm still going to support tabling it until I see a revised budget with line items all mentioned, nothing lumped together, our RBEG account in here as a line item to make loans. I want to see our facade grants. I want to see our boots to business, or you bring to the board that we get rid of it.
I did it exactly the same as I did last time's budget, Joe, which you were happy with.
I was not happy with.
You told me you were very happy
No,
with
I
it.
told you I was very dishappy with it. Lumping it all together removes items
Sir.
that we are here to. You're telling me what I remember saying. I think I am better qualified to answer for Joe Kyle. Thank you very much. I do not like this budget as it is presented because I don't think it speaks specifically of all the different items. And I don't want to send this to the city council as is.
Well, if you didn't like it, then why did you tell everybody that it was fine? You told me, "Well done, Gail," and we took it to the board.
I
and
am
it was
talking about
approved.
what you have in front of me, and we have a motion on the floor.
Okay, further discussion on the motion on the floor. Anybody have anything to add?
I think some of the objections of this budget, again, there is no codes, accounting codes for it, so it's hard to match up with what our expenses are. And I think
Actually, it's the same as the previous budget, and you are matching it to the previous budget.
I understand that, but again, I have not reviewed this with you, and I do not know, exactly where this 588,800 comes from. And
Well, you can look at the sales tax that we have collected to date. If you go into your March 31st statement, profit and loss, it will say that we have collected half of this amount. That's where I got it from.
Okay, there's a motion to table on the floor. Is there further discussion? I would add that if we table this, Ms. Ball, perhaps you can sit down with Ms. Cooper and any other parties of your choice and get the these discrepancies shaken out, and maybe we can have a special meeting for the purpose of approving the budget early next week, which would still be within the time frame to present to City Council.
May I point out to you that it is your role to be overseeing finances. If you do not approve an amended budget, you are putting us into default of our budget, not I.
Are you speaking to the board or to me personally?
I'm saying you should not be tabling it. It's a perfectly good budget.
I understand that. Are
table
you
it-
speaking to me personally or to the board?
The board. If you table this,
We certainly understand that. There is a
Okay.
motion to table. There was not a motion to approve, so we have to vote on the motion that's on the floor. My question is, or my statement is, that if we do table it tonight, perhaps in the next couple of days, the interested parties could get together, resolve these issues, modify the budget that's acceptable to everyone, have a special meeting next week, early next week, for the exclusive purpose of approving the budget amendments and still be able to present to the City Council on the 27th.
okay, then there's no need for us to have our executive session because I cannot do the things that we have to do with our big project and with the grant application.
Well, we'll
Because I
take
will
those,
not take us way over budget.
we'll take those one at a time. Any further discussion on the tabling of this budget?
So we're tabling it because Ms. Ball decided not to go over the budget, or didn't go over the budget, and doesn't know what's in the budget, and doesn't feel comfortable.
And there's missing
about
line items.
No, let me finish, Joe. I let you finish, okay? So I'm just trying to understand. We had a special meeting tonight because it was a lot to get in. And now, we all knew that. We all had the packet. So it's not that she had to go by over it. She could have went over it with herself, then went over it with Ms. Cooper, which is the job of the treasurer. And to say I don't understand how you can refuse to go over something. I'm lost. No, I don't mean any disrespect, but I've never heard of that before. So it's very strange. But anyway, and I will tell you this, I will not be here at the first of next week because I'm going to be out of town. So does that matter? I can't vote because this wasn't reviewed for the meeting that we all agreed to be at tonight. So the responsibility was you have to do your job because we all counted on that to happen. And then anything you didn't like with Ms. Cooper should have been brought to discuss tonight. And I understand, Mr. Kyle, you've got issues with how things are listed and all of that, and that things aren't how you want it. But I'm just saying, it's just getting ridiculous that, we have it, we know it, and the dysfunction is unbelievable.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened today.
Get close to the microphone.
Let me tell you what happened today that caused me for...
You want to do that in a public meeting, Susan?
I understand that, but there's things in the budget or the current statement that I'm not comfortable with. And one of them is, like Mr. Kyle said, there's 10 line items that we're way over budget on. And by just increasing the budget allows that extra spending to go on, and I'm not comfortable with that. So that's why I was not approving the budget the way it stands, because I need more explanation. I mean, one line item, which the lawyers' fees, is way out of whack. And when I can't see from the finances that we have in our packet what exactly that was for. So when I go in and I reviewed that, I mean, there's on a daily basis a discussion with the lawyers, which is costing us a fortune. And I was trying to get a response from Ms. Gale, why? Why are we utilizing this so many dollars in the lawyers' fees? And the discussion went south from there. So that was what happened today. And it wasn't taken any further because of that.
Okay, but at the same time, we knew we had a meeting tonight, so
I
we have to
understood,
do our
but
job. Even if
again-
I disagree with somebody, I still have to take the job that's mine and do it. So whether I get along with Gail or not,
No,
gotta
I-
figure out how we can sit down and at least review it, and all the questions you have, you could have surely brought tonight and said, here's what, I sat down with Gail today, we discussed it, it was heated, some things weren't, some things were, whatever, however, but we got to the end of it, so I did get it reviewed, and here's my questions, because as the treasurer, that's what we're counting on you to do, honestly.
And I totally understand that.
So, but I just think we can't, whether you can get along with somebody or not, there's a lot of people may or may not get along together, but they still have to figure out how to work and do their duty. So that's my only request, Susan, is if, because when I came tonight, I was expecting that our treasurer had done it, whether it was in a perfect condition or not. At least.
totally
At least
understand.
did that part. And then you come to us in the meeting that's public and you share those questions or that, because then that's gonna maybe lead me to a question. Oh, okay, I realize now why we're looking at this. But, there just has to be a way to do this. And you're a professional person, so I'm not coaching you, but I'm just saying, because now we're not gonna get it done. And there's other things here. So there's been other flags. Joe's got his flag that he's raised, so I understand that, but I'm just saying now, next week, I'm not going to be here. I'd like to be a part of the discussion. And, it's something I'm not going to miss. I have a family thing that I'm going to, so
Are you going to be here any next week?
I will have to look and see, but I'll let you know, so.
Again, my concerns that were going to be brought up have already been brought up by Mr. Kyle, so I didn't think I had to reiterate those. It's the same concerns. There's 10 light items that we're significantly over in our budget, and
What are the 10? I know about legal fees and I know about office supplies.
I'll be more than happy to respond if you'd like.
Well, hold on.
What were the 10, please? I haven't heard 10.
Telephone and internet, which you explained tonight.
Yes, I did.
The only concerns I have right now, I'm listening.
Hold on,
Hold
Ron,
on,
Ms.
I'm going to
Collins.
go through the 10 items. We're $10,127 overspent at Big Chief Landing.
Yes, we
was
have talked
explained.
about
I
that.
will read the list. Thank you.
Joe, there is no point in going through things that we've already addressed.
You just asked what 10 items. I'm addressing that. That was item number 2. Item number 3, allocated facade redevelopment grants, $12,500 over. Non-allocated, $10,000 over. Other miscellaneous, $317 over.
What is miscellaneous, sir?
Ms. Cooper, let Mr. Kyle finish, please. Yes.
No,
You
I
show
need
it
to
under
ask that
dues and
question. I don't know where
subscriptions.
He has the floor.
miscellaneous is.
no, it's on the P&L.
Are you, what?
I have
what-
a miscellaneous
Mr.
in
Kyle,
here.
just a question, where are you reading your list from?
Off the-
That
on
I
the
don't think we
P&L
all-
now.
okay,
March
just wanted to make
P&L.
sure. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
March
where you were.
P&L.
Okay, thank you.
So, second page, very top, it says dues and subscriptions, $317.44 under miscellaneous. The next one is advertising, is a negative $1975.86. The website's $250 over. Office supplies, $1350.29. Software and upgrades, $2,910. And general legal fees are $5,219.93 over.
And you consider those seriously over?
You continue, I brought up 2 months ago, we were overspending with the legal, and you continue to call and ask questions and not just do these little grant applications. So
Sir, I have been taught.
I'm still talking. I will be happy to look at a line item, budgeted item that includes our RBEG funds, that breaks down each of the monies to go into the grants. And you can show, if you want to, what we've already spent that comes out of the 225. The way I'm reading this, we still have 125,000 in redevelopment grants we can do. I am very concerned we have put $0 in new business development.
That isn't true. We have already spent 50,000 in new business
For
development.
Burke's, was it for Burke's Outlet?
Yes. That was our big chance, and that's what we did with it.
Okay, I'm going to go
doesn't
back to
show
the
on the P&L.
P&L, and I'm looking for that because I'm not finding it. You and I have had some serious discussions about we need at the board level to determine where monies are coming out of the budget, not just say, I have $613,000 to spend as I see fit. And we see this differently. Doesn't
Mr.
mean
Kyle, that is an insult to me. I am a certified economic developer. I abide by all laws, all rules, and the proper bylaws. And you will not say that I am spending $600,000 as I
said
see
you took a $613,000 budget and told me you would take care of putting any of these items under whatever category you thought fit.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, we need to continue this conversation in a different mode, please.
I agree 100%. Ms. Johannes, are you in town any next week?
I will be available on, let me look for sure, 'cause I don't want to tell you and then not be able to be here. Yeah, I'll be 2 hours from here. What time would we be looking at having the meeting at our 5 o'clock time or?
I think 5 or 6 would be fine, and I'm anticipating if this vote to table passes, we need to get this budget passed before the next city council meeting. So someday next week, we would have to have a special meeting.
No, we're already too late for the council meeting. The council meeting has to be at Janet by noon on Monday, period.
You realize the council meeting's not till the 27th.
That's right.
This is the 14th.
Oh, the following Monday, I'm sorry. Gee,
Thank you.
we're already working on it. I
Thank you.
apologize. Gee,
So we have until next Friday to have a special meeting if this tables. And my thought is, I realize the import of this budget amendment. If we could compromise and set a special meeting, then before that meeting, Ms. Cooper and Ms. Ball and Mr. Kyle could get together and get this ironed out and get some compromises made, then maybe we could proceed. Are you available any next week?
Excuse me, Mr. President, it will be Ms. Ball and I. Joe Kyle resigned as treasurer. He is no longer treasurer. Susan and I will work on the amended budget.
I would think it'd be advantageous for him to be here because he has the most questions. And so if we're trying to get the questions ironed out and.
He can call me with the questions and I will get them answered.
Any board member would be able to come to that meeting, anyone that wanted to come for the
So-
discussion.
To clarify, we're now suggesting we have a third meeting over the course of 1 month.
Well,
Get stuff.
the special meeting was for a whole other purpose a couple of weeks ago. Today is actually our regular meeting / special that was delayed for 2 days to get the budget done. With the budget not being done, I'm simply suggesting we look at the possibility, because I realize the import of this budget passing and getting these grants considered by this board. If we don't want to do that, then we delay everything another month to the council. So yes, Ms. Collard, that is what I'm not suggesting that if the motion to table fails, then there would have to be a motion to accept.
And if
So
that
at this
fails-
point, let's stop discussion. Let's vote on the motion that is on the floor, which is a motion to table. Mr. Wyrick, vote for my left, please.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes.
Lawrence, no.
Ball, yes.
Collard, no.
Johannes, no.
Motion passes to table. Now, 4-3. Now, with the budget amendments tabled, Is everyone willing to meet next week in a special meeting so that we can get this passed? Like Ms. Cooper said, we would need to table the 3 grant applications. I've reviewed them. I think they're good projects. They're redevelopment, but they're not within the budget, so we would have to table them. But if we can simply table for a week, have a special meeting, and get all this wiped out, then we can take care of this business. So is everybody in agreement to do a special meeting? It can be at 7 o'clock, I don't care.
And I hate to ask that on, just for my, it's not convenience, honestly, if I would have known, but I didn't know. I look at the EDC calendar when I make my trips and try to plan around it. So it would have to be at 7 o'clock, and it would be on a Wednesday night, and I don't know if everybody has plans on Wednesday night, and I apologize for that, but I would appreciate the consideration by the board so that I could be included in that meeting. And because I do, first thing, everything in my calendar is EDC when I know when it's supposed to be, and then when we have these changes, right? So I could do it on Wednesday night because I certainly, want to be part of it. So I would appreciate that from the board.
Well, Wednesday night at 7, does that work for everybody?
I teach on Wednesday nights. I'm sorry.
And I haven't been able to check my calendar.
Okay.
Well, let's first get the budget reworked, get it in our hands, and then we will do our best to find a time to meet as soon as possible.
Mr. Kyle, you said reworked, so you are not happy with the numbers, or do you just want further clarification?
Well, let's limit discussion to the workshop or whatever y'all decide to do. Okay, motion, the budget amendments are tabled. Moving on. Item 12, discuss and/or take action on a $500 advertisement in program for World Piano Man event at Athens Country Club.
Well, we won't be able to do that either because that's not in the budget.
Motion to table.
Motion to table, second.
Second.
All in favor, discussion?
Brandy.
Item 12, table. Discussion? Vote from my left.
Yes.
Walsh, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
Ball, yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion is, the advertisement is tabled. I assume, the next item is 13.
Motion to table.
Let me read it, please. Discuss and/or take action on farmers market sponsorship, $1,000. Have a motion to table by Mr. Johannes.
No, it was by Brandy.
Ms. Collard?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second? Do I have a second? State your name, please. Wyrick, second. Discussion?
One quick question.
So I just want to make, all these down through here, it'd be just as easy to go ahead and table everything from 13, 14.
You're right, Ron.
Do them all instead of just going through each one of them. We just do one motion to do all of them until we get through this deal.
They're individual agenda items. We need to take
Yeah,
them individually.
we have to vote on each one.
And
I don't
Ms.
think
Cooper, I don't know
so.
if you want to table 14 or not. So the motion to table is on the farmer's market sponsorship. Any discussion?
So we're on 13?
We're on 13.
Is there money in the budget if we pass that? I'm trying to look real quick. Did you?
That is a sponsorship, that's advertising, and I did not have anything in the advertising budget, as I have mentioned. We
Okay.
have already gone over because of the 2 that have been approved.
Thank you for the answer. That's correct. Okay.
Okay, vote for my left.
What, yes, Wyrick, yes.
Walsh, yes.
Kyle, yes.
Lawrence, yes.
Ball, yes.
Merritt, Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Table passes. Item 14, this is a presentation, but it's also discuss, take action. Ms. Cooper, do you want to table this, or do you want to launch into it? Website?
On which one?
Website?
Website.
Motion, discuss, take action on new website. It's a presentation.
We can't, well, we could actually, because it is in the marketing budget, but it is a big item, and normally with a big item in the marketing budget, I like to get your approval, so we can't.
Well, I know that we don't have a motion yet, but I think it's important we hear this presentation because we've actually included it in the budget. And if you give me a $25,000 budgeted item I don't know anything about, I will vote down the budget.
You already,
Well, that was going to be discussed. Do you
And I
want
think-
to do it tonight,
Let's
Diane?
discuss it.
I mean, I'm fine to discuss
If you're
it.
here and you're ready, I want to hear.
Okay, do I have a motion to discuss?
It's only in the amended budget.
Okay,
Well, we would not be taking any action. Do I have a motion to discuss the new website?
I'll make a motion we discuss.
Second.
Motion is second by Wyrick and Foster. Any discussion? Vote from my left.
well, I want to hear about it. Oh, okay,
We're gonna discuss it.
all right.
Wyrick, yes?
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes?
Ball, yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Okay, Ms. Johannes, Ms. Cooper, the floor is yours.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. Which one were we voting on? The website?
We're
not
you're doing
voting.
the presentation.
We're voting on the discussion.
Okay, now, there is one other one that we could also vote on because it involves no money.
Well, let's take them one at a time, please.
That's-
This is to discuss the website.
Yeah, we're going to do our, go
Yeah, let's do the website first.
ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead, Gil.
Okay,
Help you whenever you want me to help. Okay, so as you guys know, we have a website currently. It is not an economic development based format. The company that we used was a local company. It was part of our previous EDC director's leadership that took us there. He ran that situation, and unfortunately, he did not find a company that is well-versed in economic development. And you all have iPhones or some kind of phones, and you look at websites and things all the time, and the second you go somewhere, if it's not easy to use, you don't look at it. I don't look at it. I don't waste my time, right? If it doesn't work on most people's tablets or phones, a lot of us aren't looking at it. So, so when you look at our EDC website, and the company that did it, they did the best they could with the skills they had, so no harm, no foul to them, but it does not meet the needs of what a city like Gun Barrel City that we're growing, the things that we have going on here. It's not user-friendly. If I'm a company, it's not I mean, there's just pages, and getting it updated is very difficult, because the way that it was written with Lee being our director, he wasn't going to be changing it, okay? And the thing about a website, if you don't change it, and if somebody searches, Gun Barrel, let's say I search great places to work from home, right? If there's been nothing on that website updated in months, I don't come up on a search page until way in the back, because Google will immediately look and say, oh, all these things right here on this page and these words, working from home shows up, right? And I don't mean to insult anyone's intelligence. I don't know where all you guys are on using the web, so I apologize if you already got it. But, so our website right now, if I was to search that, Gun Barrel City doesn't show up on the first page. We don't even show up on the second page, the third page, the fourth page, or the fifth page. So when you do a search, if you're looking for something for your lawnmower, you'll hit on the first one, the second one, third. By then, you're done. You know, how often, unless they just don't have what you're looking for, right? So some things that we have to fix on our website right now is it's not easy to update. It doesn't help us with press releases. It doesn't help us with any kind of PR. An economic development website should do that. It doesn't give us a way to generate leads of who has looked at our website. And while we're talking about budget tonight and needing to help bring jobs and new businesses, to our city, okay, we don't even know who looked at our website. We have no way right now to really know and get the lead and then know how to kind of follow them around. Now, nowadays, there's cookies. You all see that, it pops up, there's a cookie, right? And then what they do is they say, okay, Joe Kyle, he looked at jet skis. Then he looked at boats, and then he looked at deck furniture, and then he looked at all these things. So they put Joe Kyle in a group. And so when Joe opens, if he has Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, whatever he has, what ads show up are the things that Joe is interested in, okay? Our website doesn't do that. Now, there's some exclusions and things that are happening right now that's in legislation regarding your privacy. So where in the past it would show your name and everything about you, I could get everything. Now it will group you as it moves forward, probably this legislation. They won't be able to cookie you anymore. It will be called a pixel. What a pixel does is basically the same thing as a cookie, but it does not give you all of your personal information. It gives you an ID. So Brandy might be 555. And then they see Ron down there, and he likes lake living, and she likes lake living. So now Ron's 424, and she's 555. They form a group of people that like the lake. So then these companies can still send you ads because they know what you like. Our website doesn't do that. So that's hindering our staff's ability to go, hey, here's some industry that we don't know about, but look at this. They were checking out our website. So now we know what to push to them. It also should be connected to our Facebook page, to our Twitter, to our Instagram, so that whenever we publish something on a weekly basis, there should be a change every week. If we've got 52 weeks in a year, our website has to be active and a living thing, okay? So that we get that good placement on the Google searches, on the SEO. Also, what kind of words are we putting on there? So the website developer should say, hey, here's all these words that we need to have, so that if anybody searches, and they'll come up with all the terms that people look when they're looking for economic development, okay? Then they'll make sure on all of our web pages we are saying the right terms and the right words. So that will include our SEO, our search engine optimization, and then also the content that's on there. They'll make sure that our content is reflective of our community, what's going on here. Then they can also take, and let's say that there is a company that wants to do business with us, but it's not public and we don't want anybody to know about it yet. This happens every now and then, right? So what they can do is they can develop a landing page that we would have to give that developer or that business or whoever it is the code to. So then they could go on our website and they would know it may, let's say it's Gun Barrel City, EDC, / like when the city did the, wanted to do the property tax. And then it would have a property tax on it or whatever. They would know to go to that. It would open up a page and a whole landing that only they could see. Then if there was an architect or whoever involved, then it can go, they would be able to see it, but we would have control over who can see that. Right now, we can't do that. So we have to either meet in person or do all these things. We can't share information that way. And so these are big things as an economic development council we should have on our website. Also, the idea that right now we have Robin as full-time hourly staff, right? So she may not be here every week 40 hours if Gail doesn't, or how many hours it is. If there's not enough stuff for her to do, she's not here. But if there is, of course, she's going to be here. So we got Gail, and Gail's out for appointments and, trying to stay visual in the community, going to Rotary Club, Lions Club, Chamber of Commerce, all these meetings. Okay, what we have right now with our web developer is we have a website. It's not updated. It's not doing anything. It's not helping promote our city. They're not doing research on our behalf to say, hey, this is what's trending in economic development. Hey, this is businesses that are talking about coming to Texas. Hey, this is businesses looking for a great place for their workers to work from home. So a good website will do that. It will do that for us, okay? So when we get a new company, whoever it is, this one that we're looking at tonight, Golden Shovel, this is all they do is websites for economic development councils. Okay, they're the group that presents at the Texas Economic Development Council or the Minnesota one. So this is all they do. It is very rare that you find somebody that only focuses on your warehouse. So that is a huge advantage. So when we get them, if we get them, okay, this is all discussion tonight, it increases our staff without us having to hire a social media person, a person that's going to work to generate leads, a content person that's going to be updating the website once a week and coming up with good stuff to put on there, not just anything, because I'm never going to go back, right? It also can put together videos to help us promote things that are going on. If we have a ribbon cutting or a new business or all these things, it'll show that. Also, they will make sure that we have 52 weeks of updates. So every week, they're going to help us co-author that, copyright it, and make sure it's in line with anything that's legal. So we're getting staff We're getting a whole company's staff for the price of what this says in our budget, okay? I can't hire. I have 3 friends that do web development, okay? And I said, could you hire a person to do PR for me? And it was only this amount. Could I get somebody to do PR and all these things listed for this amount? They said, I couldn't get one person, Diane, to do one of these things. And I know that we want to promote local business. There is no one in our community in Gunbarrel City that does this, okay? So we're not going out. There's also a lot of small towns in Texas that use this site. They've developed it for them. They're good partners. They don't have any problem training our staff, so they'll train Gail and Robin, because there are some things that they can do, but then they're going to also do it for us. I believe that I looked through, Gail, do you know the references on some of the, I know
do.
like Royce City might be one.
Bastrop EDC, Conroe EDC, Giddings EDC, Grapevine EDC, Guadalupe Valley Electric Cooperative, Heart of Texas EDC, Ingleside EDC, Katy Area EDC, Midland, Palestine, Pasadena, Pflugerville, Royce, Seguin, Stafford, and Westwood.
So, and those are some of our neighbors.
That's just in Texas.
Yeah, that's some of the Texas things.
This one number that we've seen, that includes a new setup and a whole year of updates?
Gail, you want to address that, what it includes? I don't want to speak for you.
Well, first of all, in full transparency, I have to tell you that the $20,000 we're paying this year is only half.
Mm-hmm.
The other half we would pay next year. From then on, we would pay $41.50 per year for their services.
And does that include updates?
Is it what?
It includes updates.
That includes updates?
Yes,
So,
that is everything.
In 2 weeks, you've got a new project, you go out and take a bunch of pictures, send them to them, and they do their deal.
That's right.
Yep.
It's, I love Golden Shovel. This would be my 3rd one. Winsboro would have won an award, but the board didn't want to do it. Palestine did win an award.
For their website?
For the website, yes. And in fact, that's another really cool thing about these websites. Because they put news in constantly, we got this tiny little bit of publicity from our newspaper. I mean, it's just a small newspaper. But Palestine, on their website, has this big picture of receiving the award. Palestine EDC receives that honorary award that we won. We won the same one, but nobody really knows.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got a way to publicize.
And why do we want someone to know that? If I'm a business owner and I'm wanting to go somewhere, I want to see an economic development council that's out there doing things and getting things done. So if we're not bragging on ourselves, that doesn't happen, right? So, I just think, being forward thinking and realizing that it's not just a website, that the PR from it, and not only are they're researching all the time. So they're looking for stuff to tell us, hey guys, Gail and Robin don't have time to do that. You and I don't have time to do that. So it's helping us to be more effective in our job. I think that the city council would be excited that we've got something like this to bring businesses and really promote our community. As we grow, and we're going to grow, I came from a little town in Florida, and it was a little fishing village, and now it's Destin, Florida, and you can go anywhere, and everybody knows about it. My family was the original charter fishing family and owned the only grocery store there. So when I tell you a little city that sits on a pot of gold can certainly do a lot of things. Now, I don't necessarily want to say I want it to be like Destin because it's huge, and I like our little lifestyle that we have here. But to be fair to our citizens, it's our job to try to bring jobs for them. And if it comes with growth from the city, and we might have to eventually build some bigger roads or bridges, that's part of growing. But I think we're sitting on something here, and our capability, while Gail is excellent at economic development, she's not, public relations and social media and all these things, that's a lot. And then Robin doing her daily administrative work. So I think it would be wise of the board to consider it. I appreciate you listening to me talk tonight. I'm passionate about it because the first thing I did when we got our new website is I went on there, and at that time, the city council was promoting a property tax. And on our site, we were promoting proud that we didn't have one. And I called Walter and I said, Walter, we need to look at this because the city council is right now in a campaign to have a property tax. And we work under that group, and we're saying, hey, the best reason you want to come here is because we don't have a property tax. That was embarrassing, right? So, I mean, I just think that we are professionals, we will look better, and we will do a better job for the people that have entrusted us to do what we're supposed to do and develop this community economically. So that's all I got, Gail.
Excellent presentation. I looked at these people. They appear very professional, very high-quality work. I agree it's certainly something that we need. 20 a year is a big hit, 4,000 a year after that. If you break that out over a 10-year period, it's going to average out 8,000 a year. Again, pretty reasonable for everything you're getting.
Right, and one thing I didn't mention is after 4 years, they will redo our website.
For free.
Reflect the growth and anything that's happened. So if we have any major things that have happened, you know, downtown or anywhere, they will come back and help us rebrand what we look like and what our message needs to be. So really, what you're investing in the first 2 years, your investment really pays off in those 2 years, but just knowing that, because I can tell you right now, I asked both friends and they said, oh no, not for that amount of money.
Well, this is certainly needed. I know that several board members have spoken many times that our website is just, has a lot lacking.
Yeah.
Ms. Cooper, do you have anything you want to add to that?
One item, it's really interesting. They do feature stories on businesses, and they actually go out and meet with that business and find out about them. And we have a fantastic one here. The woman who did the liquor store that we did the redevelopment grant for, she came to America with nothing, absolutely nothing. And she has built quite an empire, and she gives to the community constantly. She has many liquor stores, she has a lot of rental properties, and she came from nothing. That's a great story for us to be able to tell.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for?
Yes, I have a question. So the current website costs that are not taken out of here, we've added the $20,000, but we have $7,300 in the first three line items. Is that going to go away, or is that always going to be there as well?
The current website will go away.
Okay, so
However, GIS planning that you voted on is separate. That will
Okay,
be
so that-
integrated into our new one.
that $5,000 is going to remain as well?
Yes.
Okay, so I understand it that our current website is combined with the city's website.
No,
It's not?
no, not at all.
Is it part of GIS?
We have voted to get GIS planning, but our website person said he would not do it. He had agreed to do it originally when we met with him, but then when he learned that we were looking at other website developers, he said he wouldn't put it in.
So our current website is not tied to GIS at all. It was Sugar Rock and, okay, thank you. Further questions or discussion?
One quick question. I think you just answered me, but I'm going to clarify to make sure. I know we got hit last year, before your time, about going into this joint agreement. GIS was part of it. What we did and updated on the EDC was supposed to be able to get to from the city's website. You can still try to go to the city and click on us, and it's supposed to bring up our meetings and all that kind of stuff.
It does.
Is the integration, is that part of GIS, or is that a different?
No, that's part of the Golden Shovel, and our meetings will be posted on our own website.
So it's 20,000 this year, 20,000 next year.
Yes.
Plus $4,150
Thereafter per year.
annual.
In addition to GIS, I
Plus
don't
the
want you to
5,000,
be,
so another
yes.
9,000.
In addition to the
I don't want you
5,000
to
we pay
not
for GIS.
understand that.
But the 5,000 has nothing to do with
The
website.
GIS is critical.
Yes.
Yeah, and what you realize, and I know, Joe, you probably get this, but just in case, is that when we have that 41 50, is that what it is? Yeah. That they're still giving us 52 weeks of posts, they're giving us, and they'll also make it so that if we're on social media anywhere, there'll be a button on our website where they can tap on it. It will take them to our Facebook page. So if we have events that are going on, if we've posted anything on any of that, it's going to bring all that easy to get to. And then we can link them back to Gun Barrel City if we want to have a link on there. That way they can go to the city council. The city council can send them to our website. So it will be very interactive and easy to follow around. So hopefully that helps answer.
I realize we only voted to have discussion, but would you entertain a motion, Mr. President, on that time that we definitely include these funds in our budget and move forward with it?
That we what?
That we
Include these funds?
include these funds in the budget they're working on and move forward with adopting a website, this website.
Yes, technically we can because it is in the marketing budget. The marketing budget will cover it.
So then I would like to make the motion that we move forward with this website development.
Have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Collard, second.
Have a motion by Mr. Kyle, second by Ms. Collard. Any discussion on this?
I just want to, I'm trying to understand discussion. I'm trying to understand it since you know more, you know what the biggest part on the other end. This new website, if they click on Gun Barrel City's website and it comes up and shows the EDC, if they click on that there, they're going to be able to get to the EDC website, this new website, right?
What they'll do is before anything is launched, okay, there'll be a soft launch that this board will see only. We will be able to address any issues. Our other website will be live still, okay? And then once this one takes over, then we won't have the hosting of the other one because we will stop paying Sugar Rock, right, to do that. So, but you will be able to find us very easily. But like I said, there will be a soft launch first. And Ron, you were on the city council when they did the property tax.
Well, I was on there when they did all this software stuff.
No, I understand.
And I mean, I'm trying to figure it out right now too, because the goal was whenever Sugar Rock did all this here,
Yeah.
it's so messed up now
Right.
that the city council said that the EDC would be a joint effort to do this here. And I hate to say, the EDC got the raw end of this
Right.
deal. And, you know, I'm just trying to figure out because there's so much stuff on that old EDC website before Sugar Rock that brings up a lot of stuff that you all talked about right now. That's actually, I mean, people were looking at it like crazy. And then whenever Sugar Rock took over, it just stopped.
Right.
So I'm just wanting to make sure I'm on the same line to where if people click on the Gun Barrel City site and it says EDC, that they'll be able to pick up our new website.
They will.
Okay, that's the bottom line.
Definitely.
They will, but my point to you about when you were on there, whenever they did the tax referendum, whatever, okay, they had a website,
Yeah.
okay, and they did a soft launch of that website that only the city councilor and the mayor could see before it could go out. So remember when I said, so that's one thing, and, so this is the same thing. Until everybody here sees it and we all go, okay, it's doing all the things, we like the way it looks, so everything's there, then it will be a hard launch. When they do the hard launch, there will be a press release, there will be information everywhere letting people know on this date, this is coming out. It will be a big deal so that people are aware, hey, they launched their website, oh my goodness, what's going on? I mean, they'll make it a big deal so you'll want to look at it, okay? There'll be reasons and incentives to want to go to our website from there. But yes, but what happened again is when we had someone that developed a website that was not versed in economic development and that kind of site. So like I said, no blaming on Sugar Rock. They were asked to do a job and they did the best they can. And they are a local, in Maybank, but local, right? So, but yeah, this will do that. And I think we will be very pleased and very proud of it, and especially moving forward with all the things that, we all believe is going to happen here.
Okay.
One other request.
Bottom line is I'm trying to understand, okay, it's going to, we get it all set up. then once a year, we're gonna have, what, $41,000?
No,
4,100.
no.
Exclusive of GIS, we will be paying 4,100 per year.
Oh, 4,500. Okay, I was trying to understand on this end. 'Cause
Well, now, keep in mind that there's,
$41,000.
anytime you make a change like this, there's going to be an initial fee, and so.
That's the
there's two
20,000.
20,000.
Okay.
and-
Plus 20 next year.
But after that,
I was sort of on the offside.
okay, after that, the 4150 a year breaks out to $350 a month or something. You know, in our past, if we wanted something done, we had agreed to 100, then they came back and said, no, it's going to be 300. So this is not economically out of line with what we've done in the past.
Right.
Right.
And
There's
Mr.
a
Wyrick, I
motion
am
on the
very
floor.
conservative.
One
We have
other
further
comment.
discussion.
One more thing. Diane,
Yes, sir.
would you please visit with our city manager and specifically ask him if there's any conflicts with the website or any existing software if we go do our own thing? Because there was a lot of pressure for us to do what we currently have that came from the city, and I have no idea if there's contracts out there that could have an implication.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. We can
Sure,
certainly want to make
we
sure
can
that we
do
can move
that.
forward. Yeah, no worries.
Talking about moving forward with this, what is the time frame then? When would we expect to actually be able to get this? I'm thinking maybe December next year, or?
Well, yeah, we actually have, in here, I have a timeline. I have a big, full contract here, and there is a timeline. They get their websites out 56% faster than all website developers. And that's because there's so many of them. They do not have a presence. They are all online. They all work from home all over the country. And they just knuckle down and get things done. Even the contact management service, they just call us and say, what do you want us to focus on right now? I'm trying to find that, but
You have that timeline, we do not, is that correct? Because there's nothing in our package.
Yeah, we just have that. We just have,
Yeah, but that's not a timeline.
no.
yeah, you don't
She's
have
got
the
the timeline.
details. But there is in here a timeline.
Just roughly, we're talking about somewhere in the next few months.
Oh, they'll have it, they'll be ready to beta test in the next 2 months.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm ready to vote with that.
Yeah, and from then on, it
Thank you.
progresses.
I really feel like you
Sorry,
guys
I
will be
can't
proud of
find
this
that.
and that it'll help us.
It may be in
a
another
lot,
paper.
You know, so hopefully,
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Custom website development, 1 to 2 months. That's when they get it together. Then the launch is at the 3rd month. Then the website copywriting is at 5 to 6 months. The hosting, maintenance, and technical support goes on for the year.
yeah.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote from my left.
Wyrick, yes?
Yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
Oh, yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
could we take a 5-minute break?
I think we're done.
Yeah, if we need to.
I mean, yeah, we
Okay,
can.
let's take 5 minutes.
We do have food there, too, for you. I don't think anybody has eaten yet.
You need a cookie.
I knew it was going to be long.
Yeah, do they
Yes.
have a corporate office somewhere, or is?
Minneapolis, yes.
And Ken, if you go to their website,
I will.
I think you'll be real impressed with what you'll see, too.
Would anybody like some of the sub? If not,
Somebody better eat some sub.
I'm going to have to send it all home with everybody.
Maybe they're going to take it home with them.
Can we take I want to take a slug home with me.
Yeah, we'll take it home with us. That way we don't have to.
Okay.
Go ahead. We'll have a sandwich.
Oh, it looks like about
Maybe I do want a cookie. I want a cookie just because we told me I can't have one.
She's one of those.
good.
Now tell her it's bad. It's terrible.
Bad for you, but they're good. You think it is?
Well, who picked it up?
How do we cut that?
I think it's already cut. I think you'll find it's cut.
Yeah,
It's sliced. Should be sliced. I just,
is it here?
Robin, is it ham or turkey or a combination or what on the sandwich?
It looks like.
Gail, is it ham or turkey or what's on the?
You know what this is?
Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Scott, yeah, lots of good stuff.
It's all.
It's cut?
it's already cut. so I just don't chew in public.
It's just a local.
I know, I don't want to like.
I'll get
I
it
don't
all
wanna,
over
like,
me.
eat Doritos.
I'll go to
and-
bite that and it'll jump out and attack. Probably attack you. not-
Sandwiches do that. Especially if you put stuff on it.
Well,
On Thursday, I have meetings in Houston. About, got done with those meetings, and it's 3.5 hour drive, right? 4 hours.
I would think that
I mean,
All right.
out, go for it.
I think I can end this.
I love how he took
Are we all back?
the inside and not the edge.
No, I mean,
I'm in Florida.
yeah, I just,
Wednesday.
actually,
That's when I said,
we had no stuff to do, and I said, I need to make this meeting. I said, he says, okay, we'll do it next month. I said,
So
well, hey, we can do Saturday afternoon.
if you'll call this to, we'll end this in a minute. I've got a motion.
Okay.
I feel like my glasses are on my head, but I'm sure they're not. Y'all would tell me if they were. I have them, right? No, they're not there. You know, between the mask and the glasses, I got to that place where I didn't know what I had, you know, I'm like, take off my mask, meant to take
Well,
off.
I would say run it through Gail and let her try to set something up. and
Not at all.
We can call
Yeah.
a special meeting.
Because on Thursday,
If
if
y'all
I
can
don't get done in Houston until like 2:30 or 3, then of course I have to drive, because I'm on the other side in Baytown.
But Brandy can't do Thursday.
Oh, Brandy can't do Thursday?
I can
No,
do Thursday.
Wednesday.
She can't do Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Because I could do Wednesdays, she, I mean, I was
You
just
could do
gonna,
Thursday?
but it'd be, I mean, y'all would have to
7,
say
7:30?
7, yeah, 7:30.
That'd be fine.
If that's okay with everybody.
You can do Thursday at 7?
I don't go to bed till 9, so I'm okay.
I can do Thursday at 7, yes, absolutely.
Gail, it appears everybody would be available Thursday at 7. You want to check your calendar and
See if you can do that.
What day?
Thursday at 7?
Thought it was Wednesday.
No,
No.
It didn't work.
Brandy teaches.
Thursday at 7, would everybody be available?
It can be. I don't have my phone.
No problem.
Yes, ma'am.
What's today, the 14th?
Thursday, the,
Birthday?
Birthday.
22nd?
Thursday, the 22nd.
7 o'clock? I'll just
That works.
Okay.
call him.
I can make that happen, definitely.
Oh, that's Earth Day. We want to meet on Earth Day? Thursday, the 22nd?
What time?
Does that meet with, at 7 o'clock? Does that meet with, okay?
Sound good to me.
That works.
That's PM, right?
Then we have to have it,
Make sure that's on.
Well, if we don't
PM, not
postpone till
AM.
Thursday, Brandy can't be there and Diane can't be there.
wait, when is the council meeting?
Council meeting is the 27th, but the cutoff is the Monday before.
So if we met Thursday, y'all had it all lined out before Thursday, we'd vote on it Thursday. If it passed, you get it on the council meeting on Friday or Monday.
I honestly think we can,
But, okay, we'll do it, and maybe they'll call a special meeting for us, I think.
Gail, can they put it on the council agenda that it's pending EDC approval at our meeting?
Sure, do it all the time.
No, they can't. I didn't know if they could or not. But they could. They won't. Okay, I understand, because I was going to say, I know I've had other things like that where you could do it pending.
Break is over.
Oh,
Reconvene into general session at 7:22 PM. Move to item 15.
I'd like to make a motion, we combine 15, 16, and 17, and table them at this time until we have an approved budget, and we will then review them.
Let me read those items, please. Item 15 is discuss and/or take action on redevelopment grant for Lance Popham of Cedar Creek Clinic in the amount of $25,000. Item 16 is discuss and/or take action on redevelopment grant for Farm Bureau Insurance for $25,000. Item 17 is discuss and/or take action on redevelopment grant for Heartmasters for $25,000. There's a motion on the floor to table items 15, 16, and 17 until after the budget amendments have been passed. These items would automatically move to the special meeting if we have it next week after the budget assembly, or the budget approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll vote from my left.
Wyrick, yes.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
All yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes. Item 18, discuss and/or take action on time extension for redevelopment grant for Lakeside Animal Clinic. Ms. Cooper?
There is no money involved in that, so we can vote on it tonight. Also, they were previously approved. They have really had problems with COVID with their contractor.
Are they just asking for a time extension before they begin their, what are they asking for, 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to extend the time extension for the redevelopment grant for Lakeside Animal Clinic. Johannes.
Colored, second.
I have a motion and a second. Johannes and Collard, thank you. Any discussion?
It is for 6 months, is that what I understand?
Let's see, she said October they could get started, so yeah, it's at least 6 months. They can't start till October now, her contractor.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote for my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
All yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Item 19, adjourn to executive session.
We can't do anything more tonight.
Do I have a motion to table?
Make the motion, we table it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wyrick and second by
Joe?
Mr. Kyle. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote for my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
All yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes to table. Item 20, reconvene into general session. Take action on items from executive session is null and void. Item 19 will be moved automatically to the special meeting we'll have. Item 21, discuss and/or take action on increasing the loan amount at Southside Bank, amount to be determined with motion. Ms. Cooper, you want to address that?
Well, that actually is in accordance with our project, so we will have to discuss that after.
Okay.
We were going to be coming out of executive session, having made the decisions, so then we were going to do that.
Okay, do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Motion to table, Johannes. Any second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Wyrick. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote for my left, please.
Wyrick, yes.
Foster, yes.
Kyle, yes?
Lawrence, yes.
All yes.
Colored, yes.
Johannes, yes.
Motion passes to table. This, again, will be moved to the special meeting next week. Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, folks. It is 7:26.
Thank you all for passing the website. That is so important to this organization. Really appreciate that.
I'm going to keep website stuff. So I know it when I talk to somebody else about it. We'll just keep it here then. Okay. That agenda won't mean anything, so that's gonna go to the trash. Yeah, I'll just leave my notebook here then. Some of that will be recycled for the next meeting.
Please remember to leave your books.
Oh. You're welcome.